Hey, my name's Frankie, and yeah, if you look at my account, I don't have any videos, but I used to create videos and I stopped. I've been sort of traveling and working abroad, and yeah, I don't really make videos anymore, but I want to start doing it again. And yeah, so you're here for Campamerica, and here's just a Q&A. I remember my first time going, and I have tons of questions. So I'm gonna read out a bunch of questions, frequently asked questions, and I'm just gonna answer them from my experience. I will say, when you're applying, make sure you are 18 to 30 years old. I think pretty much every single agency, that's the bracket that you need to be, and by the time you fly out, you need to be 18. But yeah, as long as you're with that, I think they accept pretty much most nationalities. There's a very diverse background, so when you do go, there will be people from all over the world, depending on what camp you're going to. Aside from frequently asked questions, I would just say be prepared to, especially for me, especially my last time going, and I brought a friend. So my last time going, I brought my friend, and he had never done it before. So just be prepared. I'm gonna just some things that he experienced, not ever going. So it was from me looking at him. I guess it's very nice to be aware of this before going. But yeah, if you like sort of challenges and you're spontaneous, you're gonna love doing this. But one thing that he definitely did struggle with is his free time. So he's used to having all of his time for himself, sort of having his alone time, his freedom. Remember, this is a job at the end of the day. Yes, you're going to be traveling around, but that being said, you're still going to have to be on schedule at things. You're going to be doing things, you're going to have activities you need to sort of run and lead. So as well as that, you're going to be sharing depending on the camp again. But my camp, for example, he was in a cabin with other campers, and then obviously one or two other counselors or CITs. So yes, his space he didn't have much alone time, he didn't have much space to himself. As the summer went on, he grew into that, but for the most part, yeah, he was very, what's the word? He was very taken back and not surprised, but very taken back, and I guess it was very intense for him. But look, let's go on to some frequently asked questions, and I'll go through it. I will say, if you're wondering the price or anything, go on to the agency that you're going to be using, and just look at the price breakdown. Remember, you're going to have visa fees, and you may have insurance fees that you need to pay, as well as your flights. Your camp are not going to cover your flights. And then if you look at more information on whatever agency, whether it's Americamp or Campamerica or Camp Leaders or BUNEC, there's so many, Wild Packs, there's a long list of agencies that you can use. Just look at the breakdown and see exactly what you're going to be paying for, and then you know exactly that you shouldn't come more than this. But yeah, here's some questions. I'm using a very old iPhone. I'm recording on my iPhone and using this old iPhone. This is iPhone 6S. I didn't even know I still had it. Okay, what age of kids will I be working with? Okay, so I'm going to speak from my camp experience. You are going to be with a preferred age group. That's what we was with. Again, remember, every camp is different. Every camp is run differently. Some may be the same, some may be completely different. This is all reference to my experience. So, and this is my 5th year, by the way. And yeah, I've always been to the exact same camp. I mean, I fell in love with that camp, and I've been year after year after year. Obviously, COVID come, and then I stopped going for a little bit, and then I started going again. And then last year, which was last year, my friend from England came with me, and yeah, it was amazing. But what age group will you be working with? Well, it depends. Some people are going to have a preferred age group. I would definitely say, if you haven't worked with kids before, even if you have an open mind, you know? I didn't think I would like the olders, and I was right, but I've been with olders, and I can still, I've enjoyed the cabin that I've been in with them. But for the most part, I prefer younger and middle. That's me personally. But I can also be in a cabin with olders. There's pros and cons to both. Middle, you can have like a variety of younger and older, whereas older, you can have more of a conversation and an intellectual one. Younger, you can be more playful and more sort of energetic with them, and they're sort of more funny. But that's just my experience. That's just what I take from it. But every age group is different, and you're going to experience the same things, but also different things from different age groups. But like I say, if you're sure, okay, that's fine. But be open-minded, be experimental, and don't be afraid to try different age groups. But yeah, so how mine went, I was with the youngers for the most part, and then in activities it would be scattered around. So whatever camper wants to pick that activity, you would have youngers and olders mixed together. So that's how it run. When you was with activities, it would be a mesh of younger, middle, and older. And then when you're with your specific age group, when you're going to sleep and you're in your cabin, that's your age group that you're with. So I was with Rotary. We had different so I was with the youngest. So my age group was with the youngest kids. But when I had activities, so I was a lifeguard out there, I would be I would be lifeguarding, and there'd be a bunch of different age groups because they've picked that activity, whether it's turbo tubing, for example. Next question. I don't have any skills or experience with children. What should I do? Okay, that is okay. I will say the only skills that I had is after high school, I did a leadership kind of PE training thing in my previous primary school, and then I have nieces. Besides that, I had never worked with kids, and I'm not trying to be arrogant saying this. I work well with kids, very well, as a matter of fact. But prior to me going to do Campamerica, I had never worked with kids, so that is okay. That is okay. Yeah, you learn a lot when you actually do Campamerica, and there's things that you're going to learn about yourself during the process, and situations you're going to encounter that you won't know how to deal with. You may know how to deal with, but there's always going to be something that you don't know how to deal with, that you grow in something. So that's very good, because if you go into something not knowing it, you're always going to gain more out of it. That's not to say bash anybody that's good with kids, but I'm just saying, just know, if you've never worked with kids and you're going to work with kids, just know you're going to gain so much more experience and confidence, and I guess like when you're in a situation where you want to maybe have kids do something, you're gonna have more knowledge on how to sort of do a quick game just like that, whether it's brain teasers or sort of riddles. You can do stuff like that. You'll naturally gain more knowledge on how to deal with certain situations when you're actually in it. And in terms of skills, I never had a skill. I did lifeguarding prior to my first year going, and I didn't even have to do that, because when I went to my camp, they did a whole so it was an MPLQ that I had over in England. When I went over to camp, it was a YMCA, or I guess there's a Red Cross one over there, but they did a separate training, so it was kind of no point having my MPLQ anyway. I mean, there's a point behind it because you've had previous lifeguarding experience and knowledge, but they do things also differently over there, so it's not essential, if that makes sense. So you'll be fine, I promise you. If you've never worked with kids, it is okay. You're going to be out of your comfort zone, and you may feel like that's okay, but you're going to gain the knowledge to be able to deal with the situations that are going to come your way. So don't worry about that. And same with skills. Don't worry about the skills. If you have a skill, if you like to teach gymnastics, or you like, I don't know, singing or acting, or if you're, I don't know, if there's a sport that you've got coaching badges for, then okay, do that. But if you don't have anything, don't worry about it. You would do something. You can just be a general counselor. And if you want to do a specific skill, when you're actually over there, you can also have the option to do that as well. Can I pick where I go to a summer camp? Yes. So I was with AmeriCamp. My first time I went to a camp fair, and I didn't get hired. There's so many people that go to camp fairs. please do not rush in getting hired on the spot. There's only a few camps from thousands all over America that actually go to camp fairs, and there's probably maybe 1,000 people that go to the camp fairs. You do not need to get hired when you go to these camp fairs. It's just an insight. Go and speak to them, see how it is. If you're like, oh my god, that sounds amazing, I really want to go to this camp, okay, sure, do it. But don't be bummed out if you don't get hired on the spot, because there's so many more options. And how the process basically works is you'll go to a camp fair just to see, kind of feel how these camps are run, and you'll speak to the actual camp directors. But after that, it's all email, and camps across the whole of the US will reach out. I had loads reach out to me, but camps will reach out and they'll see your profile on your agency's website. I don't know how that all works, but they see your profile basically, and they're like, okay, I like this person, and they'll email you basically. And when they email you, you can look at their website, you can see if it's good or if it matches something that you want to do, or I don't know, you can look online when they email you, because they'll essentially just reach out and be like, hey, we've seen your profile, we'd love to have like maybe an interview or just a little talk, just to see how you know, just to get to know each other. And then when they reach out, you can check out their website, check out their camp, check out where it's based. Could be north, south, you know, it could be all over the US. I had loads from some near New York, some near Washington. Is it Washington? I don't know. It's years since I had all of that, because this is like my 5th year now. But there was many camps that reached out to me, and I'm so glad I didn't get hired at the camp fair, because the camp that I'm at now, wow, the camp that I've been going to for the previous years is amazing, and I would not change it for the world. So, you know, I went to one in Florida, and it is incredible. I love it. Like, I really want to go back this year, and I just can't, because I need to like get on with life now. But yeah, it's amazing. Don't be bummed out about what camp you go to. Let the process do its thing. But yes, you can pick where you go, and make sure when you do pick, please make sure that it's ticking boxes, ticking the location, ticking if you want to maybe be a lifeguard, that it's got a lake. If you have religious beliefs, make sure it ticks that box. Or you want it to be a camp that has religious beliefs, make sure it ticks your boxes, okay? Do not rush into something that you're unsure on. The camp that I pick now, I just knew instantly. You get like a feeling in you, you're like, yes, that camp. I promise you, you'll have the feeling. It's like, yes, that camp, that's the one I want to go to. Do I get days off at a summer camp? So yes, you do get days off. Again, every camp is different, so you need to take that in mind. You need to bear that in mind. We would basically have, so our camp would basically run from Sunday to Saturday, and so we would do check-in at 12 noon, so 12 p.m. On a Sunday, and then all the kids would have left by maybe, let's say, 10 a.m. on a Saturday. We had to clean but in between, so basically after the kids are gone, we'd have to clean, and then before the kids are arriving, we'd make sure everything's like spot on. But yes, so then you'd have basically a day off, let's say, at my camp. Not every camp is the same as mine, okay? But, and then every single day when you're working, besides Sunday, Monday to Friday, you would have 2 hours off. So that being said, it is very intense. It's a job at the end of the day. And me saying that, it's probably like a bit daunting. Don't let that like be a game changer, because you do this experience for these reasons: working with kids, going to another country, meeting new people, gaining confidence, vital skills, okay? And I promise you, it is long hours, but it's so worth it. I mean, I've been 5 times, 5 years. Every summer I've been going back because I love it. And you don't do it for the money, you don't do it because you're exhausted, even though you are exhausted. You do it because you love it. And the kids that you're working with, you want to be around them all the time. Yes, you want a bit of a break, of course. But when camp's over, you are crying. You're wanting those days back. just to be exhausted just because of how much you loved it. So do not let that be a game changer. I promise you, it is the most amazing experience I've ever had. So yes, you do get days off. Every camp's different. Mine was one day during the weekend, and then every 2 hours every single day. You can hang out with your friends, get some rest and stuff like that. But that's not to say that even throughout the day you're not allowed to speak to your friends. Of course you are. We could speak to our friends. We go to breakfast, lunch, dinner. You know, we're socializing. We're doing activities. So don't think this is just a normal job. You're doing activities for fun things. I was down at the lake sunbathing all the time, on the jet ski, on the boat, doing things that I love to do. So it's not like, oh my God, I'm in a 9 till 5 doing a repetitive things. You're doing something that you love to do. Just remember that, okay? I want to just speak about traveling alone, and also can you speak to like your family whilst you're over abroad. Traveling alone can be very daunting, okay? I feel like I'm okay. Everybody's different though. But I will say, when you actually do it, you will learn and gain so much confidence doing it. It's something that you sort of you need to overcome. But I feel like you're either ready to do it, or you need to push yourself to do it. If you're not at that stage, then I feel like you're not ready. Even be nervous to do it, that's okay. That's okay. And I promise you, when you do it, you'll be so okay. You'll be so fine about it. But I think just knowing, okay, I need to do this, I need to push myself. But I am also nervous and scared. That's such a normal feeling. You're doing something, going to another country, traveling on a plane, going to the airport all by yourself. That's really challenging to do. And if you haven't done it before, it is very daunting and it's quite scary if anything goes wrong. But as long as you know you've got some support network, you know, you can speak to. When you're at the airport, you've got like some family members you can speak to, hey, that can reassure you and just give you that bit of a boost. I promise you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You've got this. But in terms of like, can you contact home when you're at camp? Yes. Like if I ever needed to contact home, for example, it's not like, oh my God, no, you can't do that. You've already had your 2 hours off. You can't do that. Absolutely, you can. If you need to take a break or something, you can take that. Just communicate with like your camp director. There'll be like camp leaders and stuff like that. Head male, head female, just depends on the camp, how they label it. But yeah, at our camp, if I ever needed to take extra time, or I just wasn't feeling well, or I needed to contact home, there's apps, you can absolutely do that. If I needed, I don't know, just a break from the kids, I was exhausted, I could do that. And you could go, if I was sick, you could just go to the nurse and just chill out there for a little bit until you're feeling better, and then you'll go back to your cabin, the kids that you're looking after. But if you're missing home or something, there's pretty much Wi-Fi in our staff lounge, and we could just go there and FaceTime home or something. You just have to let each other know so that your kids are covered. But other than that, 9 times out of 10, there's no issues. Yeah, you'll be fine about that. There's always a solution to any problem that you face, and I promise, in terms of traveling, you've got this. Just push yourself. I promise it will be worth it. And we're going to do one more question. Okay, and I just want to end on this. Okay, it's like a question someone put. I'm not sure that I'm ready to travel to America. Is it worth it? And I just want to say, it is so worth it. For me, I don't know what I want to do career-wise. And I discovered things that I didn't know about myself. I discovered that I like actually working with kids. I like traveling. I like my alone time, but I'm also very sociable. So those are just some things that I learned about myself. I'm also a confident person, which I never used to be. I used to be very introverted, like to the point I didn't like speaking about myself or anything, you know. So I've gained a lot, and I know myself more doing this experience. But just to meet people from different backgrounds, to gain more knowledge on certain specific things, it's something that money cannot buy. It's an experience, like many experiences traveling, but because I've done this, I can speak like this. This is something that I would recommend everyone doing. Even if you're like, I mean, I'm 26 now. I know I don't look it, but like, you should just do it. Traveling is one of the best things. And what else are you going to do with your summer? If you're like at uni or something, you know, you break up over summer, so why not do it? You know, you're just gonna stay in England with your friends, and I promise, it's just so worth it. You get to gain social skills, you learn about yourself. If you're like confused about something or at uni and you're like, I don't know if I want to study this, I promise it sounds ridiculous, but doing something like traveling and meeting new people, you discover a different side of you that you probably didn't know existed. And it can help out with so many different things. You don't have to do it for year after year, like I've done it. But if you want to do it for a summer, go and do it and see how it is, you know? But I can promise it's only good that's going to come out of this. And say, for instance, worst case, you don't like it, then you've done it, and you know what? In the future, you can say, you know what? I always wanted to travel and I wanted to work abroad, and I actually did it, but I didn't like it. But I discovered that I didn't like it. So there's only pros coming from it, okay? We're going to end on that. If there's any other questions you want me to answer, I've done this a lot of years, so I understand the position that it is to be going for your first year. But if there's anything you want me to answer, any other videos you want to see, let me know. I can do that. But what I would say is, good luck. If you need any help with applications or confused about anything, just let me know. I want to do some more videos based on this because I feel like when I was going, I really didn't check anything out like this. And I think speaking to someone that's done something like this is really helpful. So, look, if I can help in any way, let me know. Hit the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And I'll see you on the next video.